But the first big news after the initial PlayStation 5 Pro announcement, which online did not go the way I think Sony wanted it to. But again, that is marketed towards the people who want the highest end of consoles. They don't care about PC gaming. They want to be able to plug and play on their couch, and that's for them. That's just not marketed towards most of us. I'm not going to be buying one. I know people who are going to be buying one. So it's just the way it is, especially I find if you're in other countries, that's just unfortunately the way it is. But as of like a couple days ago, we see that we are now getting a PlayStation 30th anniversary collection of consoles, including a gray PS5 digital and PS5 Pro. And yes, all these pictures that you are seeing right here on screen in some form or fashion is going to include all this. So let's take a look at exactly what we are getting. So you can buy 1 or 2 consoles, and then those come with a bundle of things essentially, okay? So you can either buy the normal 30th anniversary PS5 digital edition, which will include a console colored like controller. It will come with a console cover for the disc drive and a vertical stand, a poster, 1 out of 30 designers apparently, an original PlayStation style cable connector housing, 4 PlayStation shape cable ties, a sticker, and 1 single paperclip. That is this right here that you're seeing on screen right now, okay? So make sure you get those paper clips, because otherwise you'll never be able to find them ever again. If you want to go for the PlayStation 5 Pro version of this, it will include all the above mentioned accessories, plus a DualSense Edge controller and a DualSense charging station. I mean, you can charge both the Edge controller and the normal controller right there, which is pretty cool. Sony says that there will be a 30th, says each 30th anniversary PS5 Pro will have a number on it, and the console will be limited to 12,300. Apparently, this is due to it releasing on December 3rd. The other side, final thing, is the PlayStation Portal right here, which I'm guessing will have limited amounts as always. And it's always funny to see people say, like, who is this made for? How is this doing so well when it's always sold out? So apparently it's doing very well. But I've seen a lot more positivity towards this collection than the PS5 Pro, when this right here, potentially on which version you go for and what you buy, could easily cost you $1,000 plus.
This is minimum 1,000 if you're getting the Pro. Minimum. Mm-hmm. All that stuff is, I would say it clocks in at about 1,000. And that's without counting that it is a very limited edition of, you know, especially the PS5 Pro only having 12,000 units. They may go as high as 1,500. They may try and pull that, and there's going to be people who buy it. They're going to sell out insanely fast. They're going to be worth in 10 years. They're going to be worth, you know, 10 grand. So if you get one, and you're willing to pay that much, awesome. Like I'm going to try and get one. This is one of the coolest sets I've ever seen. And coming with a DualSense Edge, which I want. Either way, I was like, man, I want to get one of those DualSense Edges, and then I saw it comes with the Pro, and I was like, oh, okay. I think this is very cool. Yeah, the discourse changed really, really quickly once they put out the 30th anniversary announcement. People were like, oh my God, I need that PlayStation 5 Pro now, like with the thing. And it's like, you know, it's like the old Simpsons episode where, you know, they put out the Malibu Stacy with the new hat. And they're like, but she's got a new hat. And
yeah,
then,
she's got a new hat.
Like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as it was before. And they're like, yeah, but it's got a hat. Like, that's what this is. Like, oh, it's gray. It's gray now.
I'll say it right
awesome.
now. I think the color looks ugly as hell.
What the fuck?
Whoa.
Calm down now.
You know, it's Tallen. He likes the finals, so we gotta forgive him. We gotta forgive him. No, this is, you know, I was, I think it was 9 when the PlayStation came out. So
it's old.
This just hits me right in the nostalgia. Like I'm not even gonna lie about it. And I was talking to Chin. You know, he's like, I need one of those. I need one, and I know him. He will buy it.
So are you gonna buy this PS5 Pro, or are you gonna get the normal PS5 Pro?
If I can get this one, I'm going to get this one. If not, I'm going to get a normal. I assume this is going to go live at like 10 a.m. because it's usually when they do it. I think it's like 10.
Usually 10 is, yeah, it's a
10 a.m.
typical
Pacific,
normal.
so they'll probably do that time. There's not really a fair time to do it, because like Japan is 18 hours off. And they're probably like,
yeah, that's going to be 3 a.m. 3 a.m. my time.
And they're going to be aiming for Americans.
Oh, yeah, no.
Let's be real.
I mean, if you just look back at the original PlayStation, I say original, the initial PlayStation 5 Pro announcement and everything, it is clear who they are marketing that towards. It's the States.
Yeah, it is. There's no question. That's where PlayStation
any other
is popular
country,
now.
right? Exactly. Any other country right now, like those prices to most people are insane. To Americans, most of them, it's still insane, but it's the best market for them right now. There have been articles and everything. In fact, there was a newspaper article here in Japan where they're talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro, how everyone just looked at it and said, like, that's like half my paycheck just to how the yen works and everything. So anyone freaking out online, this is not marketed towards you. It's not marketed towards me. It's not marketed towards like half of the world. It is marketed towards those who have the ability to buy it and who want the best console gaming experience, who don't care about PC. Just the way it is.
Marketed towards me and my brother.
Pretty much. And Lethal. But we've already established that Lethal is a Sony pony.
Like, Sony could take a dump in a box and Lethal would be like, bro, I'm getting it.
That's disgusting!
I love you, Lethal, but...
Extreme.
It's true. It's true.
He said it when he was on there. He's like, I'm the Sony pony, whatever.
He is the Sony pony. He's the Sony pony.
And it's cool. Like, I love Sony too. I've been playing PlayStation for 30 fucking years. Like, the only game company I love more than them is Nintendo. Because that's just that hits too deep to shake. You know what I mean? Like, I literally, Mario and Zelda, the first two games I remember playing in my life. So, but like this discourse change has been so interesting that so many people are like, this is ridiculous. It's unacceptable. Sony's just trying to rip people off to like the Futurama meme, shut up and take my money the second the gray covers went on the side. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, yeah, like I said it before, like I'm gonna get a Pro either way. I'll probably get, if I can't get the Pro, I'll still probably try and get the DualSense Edge. Just because like having that color DualSense Edge, I think would be cool. Maybe Portal, I don't know. Like, would I use it? That's a question.
You're not going to use it. That's a waste of money for you.
But again, it comes down to like maybe I could sell it in a few years.
That's true.
But it's limited edition. You know what I mean? If it's really that limited, it's one of those things you pick up and just keep in the box, and then like 3 years down the line, it works with PS6 and it's a limited edition.
Funny enough, the pre-orders do start on the 26th, which is literally during TGS. So, funny thing,
Tallen will not be getting that.
No, but I will get to try out the PlayStation 5 Pro before you because it's going to be at TGS for people to try out. So
I just realized it's like 6 months of Talon's rent for one of these.
Yep, pretty much.
Which makes me sad.
Yep, exactly.
Because where I used to live, that wasn't even 1 month of my rent.
I know.
So
regardless, though, if you're into the PlayStation 5 Pro or anything 30th anniversary related, this could be your chance. So grab it while you can. However, one thing that we do need to also bring up that is, again, PlayStation related is that the next big State of Play is supposed to be coming next week. It is claimed. I mean, it lines up with like the last few years of State of Plays always being in September-ish time. I just hope it's at a decent actual time for me and not at 2 a.m. or anything like that. But there's been some concern about this particular State of Play because we've also been hearing and seen, ratings and everything for particular releases or things that they're going to announce at the State of Play. And those include a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, which, keep in mind, came out on the PS4 and you can play on your PS5 now and is even on PC already. And we're also apparently getting a Days Gone remaster, which there's a vocal minority with that game. I feel like that. Absolutely love it. Would love it too and everything. And they always point to the sales and everything. And I'm like, that game has been like $10 on sale for like years. So yeah, of course it's going to have high sales now. Like, and apparently now there's even some rumors or talk about how it wasn't Sony that shut it down. It was the team. It was like the team that made the game was like, no, we don't want to make another one or anything like that. And based on how the leader acts online, I can't say I'm shocked. So
it's probably they just were like, we don't want that guy around anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be. Yeah,
kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick,
the head guy who was the head of everything in terms of Days Gone. Like when Astrobot came out, which is supposed to be a celebration of everything PlayStation, was like, I can't believe my main character got turned into a bot. And it was just like, okay, dude, get over yourself.
You know what that reeks of? It reeks of like when Coolio got mad about Weird Al doing like Amish Paradise.
That's a deep cut right there.
It's like I'm old, right? So like I remember that being a real beef back in the day. But like it's just like Weird Al's a guy who's just like having fun, celebrating music, and just making silly versions of songs. And like every other artist ever is like, oh my God, Weird Al is doing my song. Holy shit. Like I made it. Like so many people are like thrilled, right? And same thing with like Astrobot, like all these companies like, we're so happy to be part of this like wonderful project. And that guy's just like, you're not taking my work seriously. I mean, come on, guys.
No one did.
This is stupid. And it's like, dude, Days Gone it's not that serious. You made a zombie like
it's a mediocre
game,
zombie game. That's all it is.
Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, like, cool, like people liked it. You know, there's some people who liked it, but at the same time, when you released it, wasn't it like so broken that it barely worked?
Yep, and it got put on sale like within like no time at all. So
yeah, so you know, like, understand you kind of fucked up, guy, and you should be like lucky that people remember your game enough for them to want to include it.
Yeah,
like. I don't know. It's like I never understood people with that kind of like ego of just like, oh, I'm too good for this. Like, like you made a fucking video game, dude. With Days Gone, I don't know. It's that remaster is really weird because like,
I don't think it's gonna do well. I'm gonna call it right now. My prediction: it doesn't do well. I don't think it's gonna do well.
I don't think Horizon will do that well either.
It'll do better than Days Gone.
Like I said, I'll probably pick it up on sale down the line. I'm not gonna get it right away because I already have Horizon. So like if down the line it's like $20-$30, I'll be like, okay, you know, I'll get it for the improved whatever. But do I need it right away? No, because I have like PC Horizon where I can run it like fucking 4K ultra settings.
And to find doing well, I mean, these games got to be absolutely dirt cheap to quote unquote.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I want to bring up. And Lemon, I want you to comment on this. The whole guys, I don't know why anyone's shocked that Sony would make these if they're they most likely are real. Why? They are super cheap to make.
Mm-hmm.
They just are, or they've had them on the back burner for a while or anything. So it is not there. Don't think that they did this in 2 weeks after Concord failed or anything like that. So yeah, that's just the way it is. So
I mean, and with Naughty Dog being effectively turned into a new Blue Point, I'm sure they have a pipeline for dumping better textures into these games and stuff, bumping the resolutions, bumping the frames, new textures, maybe new animations and stuff, cleaning all that stuff up. So I'm sure they just dump into the pipeline, get it ready to go, take a few months, and then out the door. Yep. Easy money.
Yep. With like especially with these games that are on PS4, right? We've seen how many of them get remastered already.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Naughty Dog was very open and going like, we used like our interns and our like new hires to do The Last of Us remastered. We're not taking any time. Like it's basically a training exercise is what they said, right?
Yeah.
And people were like, you could have made factions and why isn't there a new game? It's like, this is our training material for people, like, and we're upgrading it.
There's orders of magnitude difference between remastering a game and making a whole
and making a fucking new one. Yeah, exactly.
Like, tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking about.
And this is one of those things that like with gamers, like that they just fly off the handle and go like, why aren't they working on this? It's like you don't understand how development works at all. Like you don't think cheap. Like, yeah, it's like cool. Like I get it, and like Lemon, you're a software engineer.
Yep.
Right. Tallen, you've worked industry adjacent for a long time and done a lot of research. I worked in the industry for a little while, and I've worked industry adjacent for a long time now. Like we have done enough research to kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. And more so Lemon than anybody else, because he's the one who actually does that kind of work.
He literally is a programmer, guys.
So like I will fucking cede to Lemon on all of that. No pun intended. But like, you know, with this stuff, like you got to understand that the development does not work how you think it does. It's not just like everybody's making, you know, the game. Like, no, it's like each team has their own part, and they all have to put different stuff together. Then they have to like cross collaborate to make sure it all works together.
Yeah,
you know, like, and that shit all takes fucking years now. Because when you want a game, it's like Baldur's Gate 3, and it's just or Cyberpunk 2077. It's this epic fucking thing. Like that's gonna take years to put together, right?
Especially when you have to teach people to do new things. And I even talked about this in one of our Final Fantasy Square Enix videos we just released. That one, you know, as much crap as I will give Square for the way that they make things work and everything, love their games, their studio ways, and or their higher ups I absolutely despise. One thing I do like about them, though, is that their teams are allowed to stay together between projects for the most part. 80% of people or more stay on their projects, which is unheard of in the West.
And that's why you got Rebirth so quickly.
Right. Oh, it took them 3 years.
That game was.
3 years, and that game is massive compared to Remake and everything like that, right? So
the damn Remake was good.
Yeah, I know. So the idea that it's, you know, it only takes some X amount of time to do this in a remaster compared to making a new game or anything like that, I'm sorry, it's not the way it works. It just doesn't. So
yeah, and these remasters really don't take. I mean, they'll take a team a year.
They probably take one or two main team developers to help kind of just, you know, manage the interns that are making that.
Yep,
that's not unheard of. That really isn't, right? You know, the interns are doing whatever they need to the remaster. They bring it over to insert normal person here who originally made the game or is within the Naughty Dog team or the Gorilla team and everything, and it's just like, hey, how does this look? And they'll be like, this looks good, polish this section up here a little bit, and this section of the game is good to go. Right? It's not that big. And again, I've said this multiple times when it comes to that whole factions thing. If we'd gotten factions, guess what? You would never be getting any more single player Naughty Dog stuff. They literally said it in their announcement thing when they canceled it.
Yep.
And I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. Would factions have done better than Concord? Oh, yes. Yeah, just on Last of Us name alone. But the fact that Naughty Dog was very open and said, we do not want to dedicate ourselves to being solely a live service studio because our entire workflow would be completely consumed by trying to keep a game like this going. And we do not want to do that. The fact they were very transparent and open about that should have been more than enough for people to go, okay, hey, we get it. Like, if you're really a fan of Naughty Dog, then fucking deal. Because, like, I am a fan of Naughty Dog. And when they said that, I was like, cool, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't need factions. Like, you Tallen, you remember, I was like, I really want factions, right?
Yeah, but the moment that came out, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I don't...
The only thing I could potentially see an argument for against it is that, you know, they release factions and Sony hires a team that is dedicated to doing that. That is not the, you know, main Naughty Dog team. But the problem you then run into there is that they're not the Naughty Dog team. It will eventually feel different or change enough that it's not going to feel like what you like from Naughty Dog. I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it would continue to do well or anything. And as Sony is most likely finding out right now, it is expensive to keep a live service game going. And so if they hired a brand new team, not only is it expensive to keep that game going, but you then got to pay for that new team. So
yep,
that's expensive stuff right there, especially if they're over. I don't know where Naughty Dog is, but I mean, the fact that a lot of these Sony-owned teams are all in Bellevue and San Francisco and everything, that shit ain't cheap.
I think Naughty Dog's, it's where it's not in Santa Monica. Is it? It might be in Santa Monica.
It's definitely California.
It is Santa Monica.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is?
because they're right.
Oh.
They're right next to Sony Santa Monica. That's right.
You're
Oh,
shit.
They're a couple miles away from Santa.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
Santa Monica.
funny.
Studios.
Yeah, that's some expensive shit right there. That
Oh,
is,
yeah.
oh boy.
Probably up there in the top 5 most expensive in the country.
Don't be surprised if this also at this current state of play coming up, if they actually have a very brief showing of their multiplayer Horizon game, and then they use Zero Dawn as a cheap way to make a remaster and try to make back some of that money of Concord, and then B, kind of push their live service, Horizon game, wouldn't surprise me. So
Yeah, that could be a thing. I don't know how much first party they're gonna have. What I think is gonna happen is I think they're gonna let the Pro get out, have a couple months with the games that they kind of showed off, and be like, hey, look, see how well like Spider-Man and how well Horizon and all this stuff is running now.
dude, they
Like,
need to keep showing off that Final Fantasy Rebirth. That's a big change.
Literally, I was like, I'm gonna pay that $700 just to fucking play that. Like, just to play that with better quality.
I'll wait for PC personally, but damn, I'm like, oh damn, that looks really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it to me, it's like it's like, we talked about it before. It's a matter of like, some days I don't want to fucking turn on my PC and sit at my PC. And yes, I could
the one upside to you actually playing that on PlayStation is, let's just be perfectly honest, Square's PC ports suck ass most of the time. They just do.
The majority of
6
PC ports suck ass.
Yes, but Square especially, man, like Remake to this day is still not a good PC port. Like, you've got to throw a bunch of mods at it to make it run really well.
Yeah, just like the original Dark Souls. That's how it goes.
Pretty sure Elden Ring on PC doesn't run that great. So
no, it's just Japanese ports rarely ever that good.
Corey over in chat says remaster, not so excited. Remake, that might be something. Well, okay. If we're talking about 13, which I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, because by the way, Steam right now is having a huge TGS sale stuff. A lot of Final Fantasy games are on sale. It's probably a remaster, because I doubt they would make a remake level change like what we're getting with Final Fantasy 7. I doubt we're getting that.
If they did that, if they did a remake and made it more like the Action like 7 remake,
I'd be down for that.
They could actually do a trilogy and have it be justified.